Hi. Before going to video, please subscribe to my channel for more interesting stuff.
Story from r/glitch in Matrix. Posted by u/deftgnrx13. Guy was dead for over 2 decades. There's this brick and mortar, mom and pop shop, auto parts shop that I go to ever so often to pick up parts for my cars. One day I walked in and this man who isn't easy to forget welcomes me into the shop and asks me what I need. He introduced himself and turns out his name was the same as the shop. Well, call the shop Bill's Auto Parts. I began explaining to him what parts I needed and he started checking the system to see if they had it in their inventory. This man, Bill, was an older gentleman with a southern accent, slender in size and not very tall. Couldn't have been taller than 5 feet 8 inches. As I'm looking around the shop I see behind the counter where Bill is standing a wooden stool and there's a black and white cat. The body of the cat was all black with a white streak down his chest, white around his mouth, eyes and all his paws were white. Anyway, as I continue to look around, Bill tells me he is my part and we continue with the transaction and I leave. A couple of years later I go back to the same shop and I ask for Bill and no one at the shop knows who I'm referring to. I start describing what Bill looks like and sound like, as no one there had any sort of accent let alone a southern one, and still, no one knew who that is. Then one gentleman comes to the front from the back of the shop and says that Bill had been dead for 20 years. To my shock I asked this man if there's someone else who works at the shop with the same name and he continues to inform me that there isn't, but behind the man I was speaking to was the exact same cat I had seen all those years back. I asked about the cat and the man said he just showed up one day and became the shop cat. To this day, I still think about Bill and that occurrence. Story from r/glitch in Matrix. Posted by u/chamberlain2b. Anyone else feeling strange? I haven't felt like myself since this all started. I've kept the exact same routine for the most part. Still working as I've been classified as essential, still with my boyfriend, still with my family members. But everything has felt off for the past couple of months. Let me preface this by saying I feel perfectly happy and content with my life. I've suffered from depression for a long while but finally have found peace with myself. So to be feeling this way has been so strange to me. But I feel like I'm in a dream, or maybe a trance-like state. And not a very good one. I constantly feel like I'm floating. That's the best way I can describe it. I've never had issues with sleeping and all of a sudden I am now. I've also never had issues with being overly tired throughout the day but I find it hard now to work even a small shift without being completely exhausted when I get home. When I do finally fall asleep, I never remember it. I usually can recall about when I fall asleep because my boyfriend reads to me every night. But now I have just been blacking out and suddenly waking up in the morning, not really feeling rested at all. Has anyone else been experiencing anything like this? Is something wrong with me or did our timeline shift when COVID began and make me a different person than I was before? Edit. Thank you all so much for your thoughtful responses. Thus attracted so much more attention than I thought it would. I don't have time to respond to each and every individual response but will read them all eventually. I appreciate all ideas and thought processes, so thank you for your time. Story from r/glitch in Matrix. Posted by u/absolutely_done. I disappear one night and I'm replaced by my lookalike in white, who no one remembers. TLDR, I disappear one night, possibly on more than one occasion, and I'm replaced by a ghost or my thrill-seeking alternative universe self who wanted a chance to go on my computer. About a week ago, I went to search through my internet history to find a song and instead that I had a couple of random searches at around 1 to 2 a.m., I used Google Chrome, which seemed pretty harmless, you know, stuff like architecture from the 1900s, so I chalked it up to that I had probably woken up in the middle of the night and played The Sims, then had a thought to randomly search up some architecture for building inspiration. Except that I don't remember waking up at all. It was, well, a bit bizarre. I checked Origin to see if I had played any games that night and I hadn't. It shows the last played date, so I asked my mom if I'd been up out of curiosity, since I figured I would have went to the loo as well. And she's up late nowadays to get a time slot for a food delivery. I go and ask her and she looks really confused, saying that I hadn't been up at all. I freaked out a bit and told her what had happened with my search history, and she chalked it up to that I had maybe forgotten I had woken up at all. I argued that she would have heard me if I had went on my computer at night because I have a keyboard that's quite loud, and she would have heard the sound of my chair creaking. She swore that I hadn't been up at all, so I left it at that until it happened again a few days ago. My mom came into my room a couple days ago and told me off for being on my computer at night, which I was mighty confused at, and I told her that I hadn't been on my computer at all. She argued with me that I had and I vehemently denied it, and asked her to prove it. She went and got her phone and went to point out a video she had taken of me, which I found was really odd, but I didn't comment on it. I have no idea, of me on my computer acting well, weird. I was hunched over on my chair and the computer was on, but I wasn't typing or anything, just sitting there, and in the video my mum shouts a bit but I don't react at all. I just sit there blankly, and at that point we're joking that I'm on drugs, never taken them, nor do I drink, until I notice that the night dress looks completely different to anything I've owned before. The video is blurry as shit since it was taken in the dark, but the night dress is white and a bit old-fashioned. I don't own any white night dresses, and to my knowledge I hadn't borrowed any sleepwear recently. Night dress aside, I point this out to my mum and I turn to joke that my Victorian lookalike is addicted to computers as well when the blood drains from her face. Literally. She looks pale and I freak out. We both believe in ghosts, so we thought it might have been a ghost, before she puts away her phone and walks out of my room. I've tried bringing it up again with her, but she tells me to stop asking her about it because it's probably nothing and the gray night dress I had might have just shown up as white due to the low light, combined with how her phone camera perceives colors. I'm feeling rather persistent to get to the bottom of this all and so I bring it up again, and she looks really confused and asked what I was talking about. I'm like what the fuck, so I badger her into handing her phone over and lo and behold, the video is still there, except, there's no one sitting at the computer. Literally no one. The chair is slightly ajar and the computer is on, but I'm gone. I'm not in my room at all, and my mum doesn't recall seeing anyone, nor does she recall why she took a random video of my apparent empty room. I have no idea what happened that night, and we think that maybe we were tricked by the lighting into believing that I was on my computer, but it doesn't explain my mum's reaction or where the absolute fuck I was and who was the person in white or why she has no memory of it. I don't sleepwalk. We checked the cameras, a bit unnecessary, but because we live in a rough area we decided to get them in parts of our house just in case we were robbed again, and I'm nowhere. Gone. Truly bizarre. I really don't have a plausible explanation at all for what happened. Edit. We are getting a new carbon monoxide detector installed. Everyone stay calm. Stroy from r/glitch in matrix. Posted by u/the_Obi-Wan. Doppelganger in the morning. So, about 8 months ago, I was in 2 places in my apartment at the same time. My wife, 30F, and I, 27M, had been married for about a year when this happened. It was a Saturday morning and I had woken up around 7:45 a.m. because work has made it so that I really suck at sleeping in now, which sucks, but hey, I was up. I figured the best way to use my time was to sit on the toilet and look at memes. So I head across the apartment to the second bathroom, because I don't want to disturb my still sleeping wife, turn on the light and fan and get down to business. I'm about 10 minutes into my morning ritual when my wife wakes up. She looks over and sees me lying in bed, sound asleep, with my arms up and my hands tucked under my head. She quietly gets out of bed as to not disturb me and goes into the master bathroom to start her morning routine. Now, the thing about our apartment is, when you're in one bathroom, you can clearly hear if the fan is running in the other one. So when she gets into her bathroom, she was confused because she could hear that the fan was on in mine, but as far as she knew, I was still asleep. She finished what she was doing and went back into our bedroom where she saw that I wasn't in bed anymore. A few minutes later, I wrapped up the morning meme session and headed back to our room as well, and she asked if I had left the fan on overnight, and I told her that I turned it on when I went in there, before she woke up. That's when I got a weird look from her, because she was sure that I was still in bed when she had gotten up. She hadn't mistaken me for a pile of pillows under a blanket, she had seen my face and remembered the position I was sleeping in. So, yeah. We were pretty confused, and frankly we still aren't sure what the deal was that morning. She's experienced a few other things in our apartment that belong in the paranormal subreddit, but those are for another day. Just thought I'd throw this story out there and see if anyone has any ideas, tips, tricks, or explanations. The end? Stroy from r/glitch in matrix. Posted by u/aliens revealed. Floored. There have only been a few experiences that I've had in this category and I've almost covered them all. I'm almost 44 and I've had some years to accumulate a few weird stories. I've had lots of paranormal stuff happen, but it doesn't fit here. I digress. In university I was a psychology major. The psychology department had its own building on campus. This is where you would go to talk to your professor or hand in an assignment. One morning I left earlier than usual to drop off an assignment or something of that nature. It was over 2 decades ago, so that part is hazy. The professor's office was on the top floor and I had visited the building numerous times over the years. So I was familiar with it. As I climbed the stairs I noticed there were quite a few people there already. People standing in the hall as I went up the stairs to the top floor. As I went up the flight of stairs I came to the second last floor before the top floor. There were people sitting on the floor there too. Then something strange happened. The stairs didn't go up any further. I looked around, dumbfounded, trying to process what was going on. This was not the correct floor. I had to go one floor higher. I looked around perplexed. I just stood there for a few moments in front of those people trying to figure out what happened to the top floor. The stairs just ended. After a few moments I decided to leave. I walked all the way back down the stairs and headed to my first class of the day. I decided I would drop back another time with what I needed to do. I never had any issues after this odd experience. Getting to the top floor. It may have been this experience that caused me to try experiments in the future. This was before the Matrix movie came out and people started sharing glitch stories. I would try to do something completely spontaneous to see if I could mess up a pre-planned daily script. For example, like suddenly going to the convenience store when I had no plans to go to the store. Nothing ever happened. That morning, I left earlier than normal. Maybe that had something to do with it? Stroy from r/glitch in Matrix. Posted b.y.u/whoop-diddy-scoop. 5x Deja Vu. I'm sure we've all had deja vu, but has anyone else experienced 4x or 5x deja vu? It's like normal deja vu, you experience something for the first time, but it feels like you've been/done it before. 5x deja vu is like experiencing deja vu on top of deja vu times 5. I went to a cafe with my family once. Someone said something and someone else did something. I experienced deja vu. That's happened before. But the feeling of deja vu was to the deja vu itself. That deja vu was to deja vu about the deja vu before that. Heck. But the root of all of the deja vus was the original situation. It all happened at the same time, a split second like regular deja vu. This has happened at least 3 times in my life. Is this normal? Has anyone else experienced this? I don't remember what the people around me did/said to trigger it. But I do remember them thinking I was crazy lol. The whole situation is really hard to explain. I hope I make sense. I'd if this is the right sub for this. If not, let me know. Stroy from r/glitch in Matrix. Posted by u/frozen hot dog water. I watched a movie trailer before it existed. When I was maybe 7 or 8 I was lying on my stomach in my living room in front of the TV watching some kids' cartoon. The commercials came on and as I was about to get up to get a snack or something I noticed a trailer for a movie that was going to come out soon that had a dinosaur in it. Now of course, me being the little kid I was who absolutely loved dinosaurs, I watched the trailer. I don't remember the whole thing, but I do remember one specific part where the green dinosaur is running through a field at night where fireflies flew out of the grass as he ran. I had no idea what the name of the movie was, but I went and asked my dad about it and if we could go see it when it came out. I referred to it as the Green Dinosaur Running Through the Field movie. I know, not a very simple name, haha, but he couldn't find it anywhere online. I was disappointed, but I left it and completely forgot about it. But then a few years later my parents were wanting to take me and my younger sister to this movie called The Good Dinosaur. I asked what it was about and they showed me a trailer for it. I immediately recognized the green dinosaur, but there was also a kid with the dinosaur. As I watched the dinosaur run through the field of fireflies I was so confused and just assumed it was a weird deja vu situation. When I think about that now I really don't think it was though. First of all, the firefly field seemed off and I'm still not able to place my finger on what was different, but there was definitely something. Secondly, the first time I saw the trailer I was laying on my stomach on my carpet in my living room watching the TV, and the time my parents showed it to me, I was downstairs standing at the kitchen table watching it on my mom's phone. A lot of my memories from when I was a kid have been blocked out due to certain things that happened, so I could possibly be imagining that, but it is such a clear and vivid memory that I've had for a long time. Sorry my grammar was probably horrible in this, but like, thanks for reading this long thing. Stay safe and social distance, heart, victory hand. Stroy from r/glitch in Matrix. Posted by u/sexy_sponge_eater. I think a car disappeared off Earth for 10 minutes. So this happened about a week ago. Me and my brother were playing outside, him with a football and me with a tennis ball. About 30 minutes later a car pulls up just down the road and a family of 4 get out and start preparing to go for a walk, putting on boots etc. About 15 minutes after they arrive I accidentally lost the ball down the road and had to chase after it. I look up and see the car was gone and actually have to stand where the car was to catch the ball, so I just think that the family drove off again after getting their boots on. When I get back to my brother I tell him the car has gone and he tells me that it hasn't, so I look back and it's returned. There was no way that the car could have driven back in the time it took me to get back to my brother and I would have heard it. So I guess in 2020 we have magic cars.
Thanks for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe for more videos.